What did your friend do that accidentally turned you on? We were both drunk at a friend's house party, and I playfully pulled her hair to get her attention. She gasped, and then gave a happy little moan. What made it hotter was the way she gripped the seat of her chair with both hands, and encouraged me to do it again. And so I ended up playing with her hair all night. I still think about her gorgeous bliss-filled face, though sadly we never took it any further. I was once speaking to this customer and I couldn't understand her because of her thick Russian accent, so my coworker stepped in and started speaking fluent Russian, and I swear it was the hottest thing ever. I definitely have a thing for accents because that shit was putting me in some type of mood. Fuck. Not very subtle, but she spontaneously pulled her pants down to tan her legs while we were chilling outside. When she suggested doing it I was like, oh sure, assuming she had shorts on underneath. Ha nope. Victoria's Secret panties. I laughed and said dude, we're outside, but in truth God I was turned the hell on. She wasn't the brightest friend, but that's what made hanging out with her so fun. Lamau, I miss pre-COVID times. There was this one incident where me and this pretty girl went out for a long drive. We drank a bit and on the return she was tired and put her head on my lap while I was driving. Pretty sure she felt my dick. I was off from college for about a week. I came back and a friend of mine who I hung out with every day ran up and hugged me. But as she hugged me she jumped and wrapped her legs around me and we were just looking at each other. Should have just went for it, but alas, I only realized after the fact months later. If I could go back in time I'd punch myself in the balls. Put her hand on my upper thigh and as her fingers wrapped around I got hard enough that it touched her hand. She looked at me with a bit of surprise in her eyes and then she winked. Update. After the wonderful, super and loving advice of everyone I decided to bring it up with her to ask about a relationship. She said she is open to that. I had a friend who I hung out with during high school. We would make our homework together and always study together for the big tests. She was attractive but I never looked at her that way. One day when we were in the library studying, I noticed that she wore a different perfume. When I asked about it, she came very close to me and made me sniff her neck. I never knew that I could get a boner so fast. After that, things went further and eventually we got married years later. Lol. Kinda the reverse. Had two friends, a guy and a girl, who rented a house and invited me hang out in the evening. The girl came home from a long shift at her gas station job. She was like, "Could you rub my feet for me?" I said sure and went to work as she was sitting. After about 15 minutes she got really quiet and asked me to stop. Did I do something wrong? She laughed and said no, you're doing too good of a job. And I was like, oops. Sorry? Was not my intention to turn her on. Lol. 8th grade, on the bus back to school from a state tournament for concert band. It was a black tie deal. Thought we were all done. Undid my tie, relaxed on the bus. 5 minutes before we got back to the school, director said to tidy up. We were performing for the school. I couldn't tie a tie and it wasn't a clip-on. She offered to tie it for me. My heart raced for days. I graduated high school 10 years ago and I still have more feelings for her than anyone else. I still remember her being so close, so genuinely caring. We talk every once in a while, but now I'd rather have a friend, and not possibly ruin that by doing something stupid. She did turn me down twice in high school, so I assume it's unrequited. I was driving a girl home and in the car she put her hand on mine, and said, "You know I like you, right?" My pee-pee started growing. After exiting the car to get her bag from the trunk, she asked me for a hug, so I hugged her and I'm pretty sure my dick accidentally touched her. Her mom was watching from her main door. Shit was awkward as f. Girls that like girls know what I'm talking about when a friend wants to do your makeup and gets really close to your face or even sits on your lap and you turn into a freaking statue cause you don't know where to look or what to do with your hands. OMG, when she left my lap I was beautiful and gay. He actually openly told me that he got a boner from me. We were in a flirting phase, and in order to counteract his stiffy, he started mumbling math equations and reciting the multiplication table out loud. Guess it turned me on knowing that he got so turned on he had to do math to calm down. We were on our way back home from a trip. I was driving, and we decided to stop for a bit to buy some snacks. She bought a muffin that was so good she started making sounds with her mouth and I told her as a joke, "Please don't wet the seat," but she started moaning louder just to tease me. Next thing I knew I had to drive for 40 minutes with an erection.